These are both made from animal skin. This is bog standard leather, which has been chemically treated in a variety of ways. This is parchment, sometimes called vellum, and this is animal skin, which has really mostly just been scraped and smoothed with perhaps a pumice stone or whatever. But essentially this has had far less chemical treatment than this. And they both have different requirements in terms of environment as a result. So the leather is very resistant to sudden changes in humidity, but it is weaker when it comes to handling damage and sunlight exposure, causing it to fade. So you can see here there's a lot more damage on the spine of this one. This one is much tougher when it comes to handling and sunlight. However, it really doesn't like changes in humidity too much. So this one is in good shape, but you can see cases of parchment vellum coverings which have warped and twisted because of the quick changes in humidity. So we try to make sure that the parchment is always kept in a quite stable humidity environment, whereas there are slightly different needs. Most modern environmental control systems are humidity based as a priority, because extreme changes in humidity coupled with temperature changes can be more destructive of organic materials in general. Whereas if your humidity is relatively stable, your organic material can usually cope with larger changes in temperature. It isn't great for it, but it's not as destructive as more fluctuating humidity. So the fluctuations in humidity are the priority area to remove.
What's the case with paper and parchment sort of paper?
Old linen rag paper is very chemically stable. So what you'll get in old linen rag paper as a conservation issue is that the ink, which is an acid, which is why it sticks to the surface of the paper in the first place, is slowly eating through the paper. There's nothing you can do about that. The whole point of ink is to be an acid. Modern chemical paper, which is wood pulp, which is usually produced with chemical processes, especially from the 19th century onwards, is much less chemically stable, and in fact a lot of organisations are losing their 19th century collections, and there's nothing they can do about it because it's just too chemically impure for them to be able to do anything really in terms of stabilisation. So older paper is actually surviving better because it's got fewer chemical impurities, whereas especially 19th century mass-produced wood pulp paper is acidifying at a high rate, and there's not much they can do about it.
Is in a situation where, you know, humidity is a problem, is that a bigger problem than temperature, or are they both concerns?
They are both concerns. Paper likes a slightly less comfortable climate than people do, and if you have photographs and photographic negatives, they pretty much like freezers. So if you've got photographic material, that you really requires much lower temperature, which is a problem if you have photograph albums, because the photographs in the album would really prefer to be cooler than the paper would.